In the vast cosmos of Marvel Comics, where gods, monsters, and cosmic beings clash for dominance, two entities stand tall as the ultimate embodiments of darkness and dread. Mephisto, the manipulative demon lord of hell, and Dormammu, the omnipotent ruler of the dark dimension. Both have tormented heroes, ruled terrifying realms, and challenged the very balance of the Marvel multiverse. But a question still lingers in the minds of fans. Who is the true Lord of Darkness? Which of these demonic overlords reigns supreme? Before we step into this infernal arena, it's important to understand that Mephisto and Dormammu aren't just powerful villains. They are near omnipotent forces that rival gods, and sometimes even threaten the cosmos itself. Both have been major antagonists to Doctor Strange, have tangled with multiple superheroes, and possess powers far beyond the comprehension of mere mortals. But while they may seem similar on the surface, their origins, domains, power sources, and ambitions set them on drastically different paths. So let us ignite the flames of this battle and determine once and for all who deserves the crown of Marvel's darkest being. Origins and realms of power. Dormammu and Mephisto may both be symbols of darkness, but they hail from completely different dimensions and possess radically unique origins. Dormammu was born in the Faltine dimension, a place of pure energy. Alongside his sister Umar, he rebelled against the rules of his kind, seeking to hoard physical matter and magical power. Their greed led to their exile. Eventually, Dormammu conquered the Dark Dimension, a chaotic realm where reality itself bends to his will. In this realm, Dormammu is a literal god. His form, composed entirely of mystical energy, grants him nearly limitless power. He just use magic, he is magic. In contrast, Mephisto rules a fiery realm often mistaken for hell. Though Marvel avoids linking him directly to religious dogma, Mephisto operates much like the devil of legend. He makes deals for souls, manipulates mortals, and weaves chaos across dimensions. He thrives on corruption, fear, and temptation. Unlike Dormammu, Mephisto is just a sorcerer or a warlord. He is a master manipulator, a puppeteer of the mortal and immortal alike. Dormammu commands raw, destructive power rooted in chaos magic, especially within his home dimension. Mephisto, meanwhile, draws strength from the suffering and submission of countless souls across the multiverse. Where Dormammu crushes opposition with sheer might, Mephisto slithers through minds and hearts, turning desires against the very beings who hold them. Shows of strength, comic feats, and MCU impact. Let us talk raw power. What have these beings actually accomplished, and how do they compare? Dormammu has clashed with cosmic beings, challenged eternity, and threatened to merge entire dimensions. In the comics, his battles with Doctor Strange have spanned galaxies and warped reality itself. In the Doctor Strange film, Dormammu is portrayed as a swirling, infinite entity, a force of nature beyond comprehension. Even Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, could beat him through combat. Instead, he trapped Dormammu in a time loop, forcing a bargain. That tells us something critical. Dormammu is so overwhelmingly powerful that brute force isn't even an option. Mephisto, on the other hand, has been the shadow behind countless Marvel storylines. He altered realities, tormented souls, and even once trapped the Silver Surfer in a hellish realm. His manipulations have affected Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Scarlet Witch, and more. In the MCU, Mephisto made his debut in the Ironheart series, giving Parker Robbins the hood, an enchanted cloak, and magical powers. He immobilized civilians with a glance, manipulated reality, silenced minds, resurrected the dead, and even stripped Riri Williams of her Ironheart armor with a simple wave. While Dormammu obliterates, Mephisto corrupts. Dormammu battles for dimensional conquest. Mephisto plays the long game, sowing seeds of temptation that bloom into devastation. Limitations and vulnerabilities. Despite their unimaginable power, neither Dormammu nor Mephisto is truly invincible. Dormammu's power is near absolute inside the dark dimension, but outside of it, he faces limitation. He is often bound by magical laws and pacts, such as the one with Doctor Strange that prevents him from physically entering Earth's dimension. Though he tries to circumvent this using pawns like Baron Mordo or by merging dimensions, these rules can still restrain him. Mephisto's power relies heavily on belief, fear, and the collection of souls. He is immensely powerful in his own hellish realm, but his influence can be limited in places where his presence is not recognized or where spiritual strength resists temptation. Also, Mephisto is vulnerable to being outwitted, and that happens more often than you'd expect. Heroes like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange have bested him not with strength, but with mortal clarity, clever deals, or by denying him the suffering he feeds upon. Galactus once consumed Dormammu. Strange has defeated Mephisto in verbal combat. The key here is that both entities can be undone by strategy and mental fortitude, not just mystical energy. Who wins in a direct confrontation? The million-dollar question: if Dormammu and Mephisto were to clash directly, who walks away as Marvel as true Lord of Darkness? In most cosmic-scale battles, Dormammu is the more immediate threat. His raw magical power, especially within the Dark Dimension, is capable of dismantling universes. He has fought and even overpowered beings like the Ancient One, and in alternate universes has nearly conquered the Multiverse. His realm warps reality to his will, making him a literal god when in control. However, Mephisto is the ultimate chess master. He thrives on mental and emotional warfare. If he could lure Dormammu into a deal, manipulate him, or trap him in a web of deception, he might find a path to victory. But that, assuming Dormammu can be manipulated, something unlikely for a being forged in pure chaos energy. In the end, Mephisto is a being of influence, subtlety, and soul-binding manipulation. Dormammu is a destroyer, a dimension-conquering juggernaut. If it came down to brute force or mystical power, Dormammu wins. Even Marvel proved this indirectly when Galactus, another cosmic entity, consumed Dormammu in the Dark Dimension. That speaks volumes about Dormammu as vulnerability when his enemies adapt to his own rules. Mephisto may never fall in a straight fight because he'll likely never enter one. But if forced into a confrontation with Dormammu without time to strategize or deceive, he would likely be consumed by the Dark Dimension as ruler. Conclusion: the true Lord of Darkness. So, who is Marvel's true Lord of Darkness? If we judge by cunning, longevity, and influence over the mortal realm, Mephisto dominates. His deals, manipulations, and soul-collecting schemes have caused more personal suffering and long-term chaos than nearly any other villain in Marvel Comics. He is the embodiment of evil temptation. But if we judge by raw power, godlike presence, and cosmic threat level, Dormammu reigns supreme. His control over the Dark Dimension, his magical prowess, and his ability to warp reality make him the more destructive and overwhelming force. In a head-to-head battle, Dormammu takes the win. His power is too vast, too aggressive, and too chaotic for Mephisto to manipulate or contain, especially in a no-holds-barred showdown. So, while Mephisto might be Marvel as ultimate manipulator of the soul, Dormammu is Marvel as ultimate destroyer of worlds. And in the battle for the title of Marvelous, true Lord of Darkness, Dormammu stands at the top. He rules chaos, while Mephisto rules manipulation. He conquers dimensions, while Mephisto traps minds. He commands reality, while Mephisto bends wills. He's feared by the cosmos, Mephisto feared by mortals. But in the final reckoning, only one sits upon the darkened throne, and that is Dormammu. Check out my other videos for more epic character crossovers and battles. Thanks for watching, and stay happy and healthy.